Elizabeth,
Yes.
we have just watched episodes 3 and 4 of Meglos.
Yes.
Could you tell me your feelings about the story, the Doctor Who story, Meglos?
Well, I think the Doctor Who story of Meglos
Yeah.
can be summed up by telling you that Meglos is an anagram of me slog. And it did feel a little bit like it could
Did
have been
somebody say full mercy?
Oh, messy! It could have been a two-parter. It was not.
Hey, it would have been a banging two-parter.
It would have been a really good two-parter because I think the actual story was not bad, and there were some really nice features.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier, I thought the performances from certain members of the staff were very good.
Everybody but the pirates.
The pirates were awful, and they were so reminiscent of the Band of Merry Men in Creature from the Pit that it made me pine for those merry men of...
But as I said earlier, they are somewhat less anti-Semitic and therefore inherently better.
That is your opinion. I'll take my...
Now listen.
I will be very careful.
Yeah. We've already...
I think that Barbara was very good, and...
God, it kills me that...
But just, all joking aside, it was a cactus trying to take over the world. It's a bit like when there's comedy, like Pinky in the Brain. What are we going to go do today? Brain?
Yeah, you can't escape that. And it's a really weird decision to have made, isn't it? Now listen, here's the central feature of this video. Are you ready?
Yeah.
In the Doctor Who, the last Doctor Who poll, which of course will soon be replaced with the new Doctor Who poll, which is very exciting, where do you think Meglos came? Now, there were 241 stories in that poll.
I think it came 204th.
Meglos, according to that poll...
Oh my gosh, you know the answer. Yeah.
Is the 10th worst Doctor Who story of all time. 10th or 11th, I can't remember.
So, it came 230 something.
Yeah, I think it was 230.
Or 220 something, yeah. I can imagine that. No, actually, that's not fair.
You see, I don't think it's fair, because
when
I don't...
think about it, there were definitely episodes that I've thought, oh, my God, what are we watching?
There have been some that have been tediously dull, and I don't think there's anything egregiously bad about Meglos. I just think it's a bit flabby, a bit sort of limp in places. I also think, as much as I love Jacqueline Hill, and most people watching Meglos at the time wouldn't have felt this way, it actually unbalances the story for me, because every time she's on, I think, oh, Barbara. And I know that's a Who
I think that's
talking.
a you thing,
Yeah, that's fair.
I think she was good. And I liked the man that she was playing opposite. Although she seemed to be a very sort of strong, powerful, commanding person. Maybe slightly one-dimensional. And he was a bit more dimensional, but it was a bit sort of pathetic and inept, wasn't he?
I almost feel he's too subtle.
Yeah.
Because it's a fairly blunt story, and I don't think you need subtlety.
You can't say blunt, it was sharp, it was spiky, it was cactus-like.
Cactus. Up the cactus. Did somebody say for mercy? Now listen, did you spot at the end that they've been told to come back to Gallifrey?
Yes, I did. Ooh.
Yes, indeed. Not often you get that in Doctor Who. Changes are afoot. I quite liked... There was a particular piece of music I liked in this as well. You know when the Doctor was lying under the polystyrene about to kill him?
Painfully.
I liked the music then. That worked really well for me.
Yeah, and I want to just reiterate, I hate stories where they have some prolonged ritual of either of torturing or killing somebody, when you just think, if that was me and I just wanted the end of the Doctor and to make a sacrifice, I would just get on with it. I would be like, oh, let's set up all these things and spend 15 minutes so that you can explain what you're going to do and then be foiled. I
found the death at the end quite offensive as well, but not Barbara's death, whatever her name is.
Oh yeah, they just sort of she did all those really cool moves all the way throughout.
The one she goes like that was brilliant. I loved that move.
And then she's just like, oh shit, she's dead. And
she really was.
Let's all just move on.
It reminds me to a certain extent of all the way back in Mind of Evil, where they had there was a character. I think the implication was it was coded as if the guy had a learning difficulty. We were supposed to feel super sympathy for him, and they just killed him in the last episode for the emotional impact.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was horrible.
It really upset me.
But also, can we just say, K9 really phoned it in this episode. This was not his strongest episode.
What do you think about Tom playing Meglos?
I actually quite like Tom playing Meglos.
I think Tom playing Meglos is good.
But I think Tom himself does not look very good. Although he's stopped annoying me because he's not playing the the cheesy one-liners like he did in a couple of the others.
Yeah, I'd
just
agree
recently.
with that.
So
They've reined Tom in a bit,
yeah,
and I think that benefits the programme overall. But neither this nor the last story, I think, were solid enough stories to kind of make the balance up. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, there we go.
there we go.
So yeah, I think Meglos isn't great,
Slog 'em.
but has an undeservedly bad reputation. Does that make sense? Something can be bad without being that bad.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's that bad.
No,
I don't think it's great, but it's not quite that bad. There you go.
I agree.
Bye, people.